Welcome to the absolute core of human dominance. Today we are breaking down the psychology of power. Power is not about money, and it is not about physical strength. Power is the invisible architecture of human interaction. It is the ability to shape perception, control the narrative, and force the world to bend to your reality. Drawing on the principles of Machiavelli and Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, we will explore exactly how the most powerful people on earth operate. Let us start with the absolute golden rule of power: never outshine the master. Human beings are deeply insecure creatures, especially those in positions of authority. If you are naturally talented, intelligent, and charismatic, your first instinct is to show it off to gain favor. This is a fatal mistake. When you make your boss or your mentor look insecure or incompetent by comparison, you trigger their deepest primal fears. They will not promote you, they will quietly destroy you to protect their ego. True power is making those above you feel endlessly brilliant, while you quietly accumulate influence in the shadows. Next, we must analyze the weaponization of absence. The law of supply and demand dictates that abundance lowers value. If you are always available, always contributing, and always present, you become ordinary. The most powerful individuals understand that respect and desire are created through calculated absence. You must learn to withdraw at the exact peak of your influence. Once you have established your value to a group or a relationship, suddenly disappear. Be completely unreachable for a few days. Their anxiety over your absence will force them to obsess over your value. When you return, you will be treated like a king. Scarcity breeds obsession. We also have the dark necessity of concealing your intentions. The biggest mistake weak people make is talking too much. They tell everyone their plans, their goals, and their strategies. When you reveal your intentions, you give your enemies the exact blueprint to defeat you. Powerful people are incredibly opaque. They talk in generalities, they act unpredictable, and they mask their true objectives behind fake goals. If you want to buy a specific piece of property, you pretend to be obsessed with the property next door. When you keep people constantly guessing, you force them into a perpetual state of defensive anxiety, giving you absolute freedom to maneuver. Let's discuss the concept of infection. There are people in this world who are perpetually unhappy, unstable, and chaotic. They are emotional black holes. If you try to help them, they will not get better, they will simply drag you into their darkness. Emotion is highly contagious. If you associate with losers, complainers, and victims, you will absorb their psychological failure. Powerful people ruthlessly sever ties with the chronically unhappy. They surround themselves exclusively with the lucky, the successful, and the cheerful. You must quarantine the toxic before they infect your life. Another terrifyingly effective mechanism is the strategic use of anger. Weak people lose their temper constantly, making their anger entirely predictable and entirely useless. A master of power is almost completely devoid of emotion. They are cool, calculated, and unbothered. But, once a year, they will unleash a perfectly timed, calculated explosion of absolute rage. Because they are normally so calm, this sudden burst of anger is psychologically devastating. It commands total obedience and instills deep fear without ever permanently damaging their reputation. Anger is a weapon, never wasted on minor annoyances. Finally, understand the absolute necessity of